Hello, thank you for joining me again today. Now, this episode is another part of the 3 best exercises for a select muscle group, and keeping with the upper body, today we're talking about the shoulder. Now, the shoulder is split into 3 smaller muscles. They're each called deltoids. You've got your front deltoid, your middle deltoid and your rear deltoid. They're just the basic names. So all of my 3 exercises, they're in no particular order, which is a bit misleading from the title, but it's the best exercise for each of the 3 deltoids. So getting into it, we'll start with the front deltoid, and for that I'd recommend the military press. That one is where you've got a barbell. You can either start by it on the floor and picking it up to here in this sort of position, or you can get it out of a rack already raised up for you. But either way, you're going to want to lift it above your head, but you want to make sure the arms end up behind the neck, not in front. Starting from the front and slightly behind the head. Once it becomes slightly behind the head, it enables all of the shoulder to get more involved. Now I know we want to work on the front deltoid, but we need to make sure we're getting all shoulder development. I say this with the front deltoid shoulder movement because when working the chest a lot of the time, especially on the incline chest, a lot of those exercises end up moving over to the front deltoid on the shoulder. So it's not too crucial that we spend lots of time working on that muscle. So when doing shoulders in the gym, only do maybe 1 or 2 exercises on the front deltoid compared to the 3, even more potentially on the side and the rear deltoid. Speaking of the side deltoid, we're going to move on to that now, and this one's probably fairly obvious. It's going to be the side lateral raises. So I've seen machines for this, but I prefer dumbbells, me personally. So again, stand up, that's how I do them. You could be seated, but I prefer being stood up. You want to make sure stood nice and firm, and just slowly raise up some dumbbells to your side, like that, nice and light. You want to be getting like a T, like that. Range of motion, if you get it up there, that's alright, but you'll not get as many reps, and they'll not isolate that part of the shoulder as much. Again, that'll transfer over to all of the shoulder more. This one's very easy to mess up by doing more weight than you can truly handle. Like me, big powerlifter, though I deadlift well over 200 kilos, you'll not catch me using more than 10 kilos for these. I really take my time, make sure these are done right and how they're supposed to be. Really focusing in and honing in on the side deltoid. It's a really underrated part of the shoulder, but in general the shoulder is a really underrated part. You see people that want a big upper body, they'll train their chest a lot, but a good upper body will really be defined more by the shoulder development than the chest. And undeveloped parts of the shoulder, I said the side is really undeveloped. If your side's underdeveloped, the chances are your rear deltoids are pretty much non-existent. A lot of people don't train them very hard, or don't even train them at all. That's if they know about they've got a rear deltoid. So with that, I would recommend the reverse pec deck flies. So I talked about the pec deck on my 3 best exercises for the chest. It's where you sat nice up straight on a machine, and you do your flies as you do on the machine. Now most of those will have 2 different handles. They'll have ones like this and ones like this. So for the reverse one, instead of being seated back first on the padding, you want to be sat chest first on the padding and grab the other handles, and you want to be going like this, getting a really good squeeze on the back of the shoulders. Again, You really got to make sure you're doing this right, so you feel the benefit properly. You want to make sure you actually are, being safe as well. That's something really to mention with the shoulder. The amount of times that I've been shot down with a bad shoulder injury just from not training shoulders properly, or as I mentioned with the military press earlier on, if you're not doing that properly and if you're leaning and really falling back into it while you're doing it, trying to cream those extra reps out with that extra weight that you know you shouldn't be handling, you're just going to injure yourself. There's no point. Take a bit of weight off, leave the ego at the door of the gym and just work hard, rep it out. And yeah, do not forget about the shoulder. The shoulder is a really crucial part, as I said, to building that nice, strong looking upper body. So now just a random question that I'd like to answer. On one of my recent videos, I've been asked about the under 16 category with the IPF and British powerlifting. The under 16 age category isn't a category on the IPF world stage. It's only recognised by British powerlifting. To be in the under 16 category, it's done on when you are actually under the age of 16 on the day of the competition. Like, for example, the sub-junior category is the under 18 category, but that's done on the year in which you turn 18. So let's say if I turn 18 on the 5th of January 2023, in a few days' time, although it's at the start of the year, I'd still be in the under 18 category for the full year, which gives me that big advantage over someone who's potentially born on the 30th of December. It will be 17 for all that year, and be forced to go into the junior category just turning 18. That's not how the under 16 category works, as I said. It is on the day of every single competition within that year. So let's say I turn 16 on the 15th of August. If the British Championships are early in the year, yes, I'll be competing under 16 in that. But let's say World Championships are after my birthday and I've turned 16, no, I would not be able to get those records. One final thing with the under 16 category, it's not an actual category that you can enter either. It's purely for people that are in the sub-junior category but are under the age of 16. Like when I broke the under 16 records, I was 14 and I competed in the sub-junior category, which is under 18. And with being under 16, it's a lot of unders at the moment, but being under 16, I was eligible to break those records. Hopefully that answers the questions. Hopefully it does. Nice bit of information there for anyone that's interested. So I put a lot of videos on this weekend trying to catch up. I feel like it's just what I need to do to make sure I'm giving you plenty of content to keep you interested and watching the channel. So I'm not undecided what next week's video is going to be. If you've got any suggestions, comment or message me on Instagram at Gregory by God Pearson. But as I say, thank you for watching and I'll see you next week.